Well, welcome everybody, Reconders. Nice to see you bright and early. I hope your Cinco de Mayo didn't keep you away from Recon, because today we're going to keep building on the most prepared listing presentation on the planet. And we started that on Monday, and basically we're breaking it up into 8 sections. If potential questions would come in these areas, like they're behind me. And so we're on section number 3, and this is the one I'm really anxious about. And when they start asking about the marketing plan. Now, I've got a list of questions that they're going to be in the chat, and this is going to roll a little bit differently. So is it okay if we experiment a little bit? And we'll just see how it goes. What I would like to be able to do, gang, is get a baseline of some of the questions. Louise will put them in there, but I'll have them behind me. And obviously, if you're going to go on an interview and they've gone to whatever, maybe they're an engineer, maybe they went through some sort of AI and said, what questions should I ask? And these questions all come from AI. In my 40 years, I've never had anyone ask all of them, but there's some on here you'll get a lot. So what I'd like to be able to do, and I'm talking to the coaches, Matt's on, Louise and Don, is we're not going to give you 90 seconds. I'd like to fire a couple of questions at you. And if you basically have got your hand up, so to speak, in the chat and you want to play, you can request. They're all numbered. I want to get a baseline for a few minutes. We're not going to give you feedback on it. I want to get a baseline how you would answer it. Now, for the Jose's of the world who are technically accurate at everything they do, we're not going to question the questions. Because in reality, for example, there's number 3 there. Will you use professional photography? Well, I don't know what professional photography is versus other photography. So there would be layers of clarification, but I'm more interested in the content of your answers. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yes. Yeah. You want to know organically how these conversations look.
Theoretically, if I were, and Matt is kind of the direct guy, and I'm going to call him stoic. So there you go, sticks and stones and break my bones. If someone gave me a list of questions like this, I would really welcome it. And I'm just going to let you know how I'd start. I would say, okay, you've got a list of questions. Matt, let me ask you, let's say he gave me a copy. Would you like me to go in order, or is there a particular, I mean, as you have them here, or is there a particular, do you care how I answer them? That's number 1. You can answer that right. But
however you see fit.
Okay, awesome. Would you like the Reader's Digest version? And then if you want more information, I can give it to you, or do you want the Stephen King version?
Cliff Notes.
Okay. Now, I just used a couple of things there. It would be kind of dangerous. Number 1, Matt's going back to his childhood days when they had Cliff Notes. Now it's called Reels, okay? If you don't know what a Cliff Note is, that's the short version. If you don't know what Stephen King is, that's the long version. So I would do all of that. So, Louise, who do we have ready to go? And if they don't have a request, I'm just going to fire a couple questions at them, okay? And then we'll get into some feedback. Fair enough?
Rock and Robert is always a team player. Thank you, Robert.
All right. So, and specify, he doesn't specify a question number, correct? No. All right, good. All right, Robert, I have some questions here for you. Is that okay?
Certainly.
What exactly will you do to market my home?
Well, there's a multitude of things that we do. Is there one thing that's more important to you than another, Denny?
Well, I'm just, if you don't mind sticking to the question, that'd be great.
Well, I mean, of course, I mean, we apply to MLS as a Keller Williams agent. Your home will be directed out to, thousands of other websites as well. We do a multitude of different things on Facebook. I mean, like I said, there's a multitude of things that we do, but I'm just trying to see if there's something specific that you've heard of or that you would like to see done.
So I'm going to pause for a second and see because I have something I want to get out. I don't know if I'll be able to do it today. Is this a legitimate question you're going to get from a lot of people?
Yeah.
How many people felt like, oh, he tried to get some clarity? I pushed back on that. That's not that unusual, particularly if you're dealing with a stoic or a D personality, right? But did you feel like he was an Uber driver, not sure exactly what door to stop at? He's just going to drive down the neighborhood and stop at every door and see which one you want to open. So let's go on to another one. Roberts, we'll come back to you in a little bit. Who's next?
Carlos is next.
Carlos. Let me ask you, what should I do to get my house ready to list? Well, okay, I can do that.
Sounds like your house is perfect. You don't need to do anything.
I'm speechless. It's
He's
beautiful.
frozen. He's frozen.
Now that is brevity right there. It's not good when the listing agent faints.
Yeah.
Carlos, are you gone? You're a goner? Okay, who's next?
Oh, let's see.
Pick anybody. There's only one question.
Ellie will, if she's there.
Ellie, what should I do to get my home ready to list?
Okay. Hi, that's a great question. So here's the plan that I usually do for my clients. Here we have 47 ways to prepare your home ready for market.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Now, all right, let's go. Let's do one more here. One more. Who's next?
Carlos, are you available again?
Who?
See if Carlos is available again, but I don't.
Carlos, are you really here? I don't think so. Debbie,
I'll
ready?
try.
Who's I've tried? Lori.
Hi.
How will you market my home beyond simply putting it in MLS?
That's a really great question. I'm glad that you asked. First and foremost, positioning is where we'll start, because if we don't have your home positioned on the market correctly, all the marketing in the world isn't going to matter. So first, we make sure that your home's positioned correctly. Second, obviously, we're going to put it on the MLS. Once it goes on the MLS, it gets syndicated to over 100 more websites. So it'll be on Zillow, Realtor.com, all the others I can't think of. Professional photos. We're absolutely going to get professional photos because we want to draw people into your home. One of the best things that we can do by doing that is to make sure that we have professional photos that are on the home so that buyers want to come see the home. And then I'm really nervous. I'm stumped. My hands are shaking.
But at
Oh,
least
I did it. Oh my
when
God.
when we were fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq, for those who don't know, I'm an Army veteran, and it was funny. We had this thing called pray and spray, and it's what the opposing side would do. We could never see them because all they would do is stick their arms out from behind the wall with their AK-47s and go like this. If you can see my camera, that's kind of the pray and spray. It's like, here, I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff out and hope something lands.
I think I was talking really fast.
Yes.
Yes.
Let your first word be your breath. Did you
so
notice
I too was a veteran of the Civil War, and I understand exactly what you mean when you had to take them. So now we're going to get real for a moment. All right. And I appreciate the gang allowing me a little bit of time to runway here to speak. I've had some time to look at this, and I even chatted with our coaches, and I could do all of these in 90 seconds. Matt probably could too, if she had time to think of it. And I don't know that I'm going to do it, but I could do it. But let me just give you an idea of the flavor of how I would handle this. Like the question one, what exactly will you do to market my home? Well, there's three things that we have to have spot on right, and one thing you have to participate on. Three things are ACE: accurate information, compelling description, engaging photography. The fourth is the right positioning. I give you credit, Lori, on that one. You said positioning. What should I do to get my home ready to list? Well, I'm more concerned about getting it ready for sale, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you room by room once you'd like to hire me. We'll be using professional photography. Don't know what the word professional means. We're going to be using engaging photography. Will you provide video, drone footage, etc.? Yes, we have a menu of services, and that's on the option of one of the menus. Will my home be advertised? Now, most of them ask, will my home be advertised? Which is a more dangerous question than that one. I would say, you bet. How will you market my home beyond simply putting it in MLS? Now, here's where I'm going to throw out a parallel, and you guys can give some feedback on it, and I'll finish, then we'll open it up and do some role play, and you guys can do some talking. Anybody here a NASCAR fan? Does anybody ever heard of NASCAR or have a friend that's heard of NASCAR? Do you realize a lot of the races, NASCAR has rules that the car can only be so big, so heavy, so much horsepower, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Are you aware of that?
Yes.
It's different than horse racing. We just had a Kentucky Derby, and horses have to be so many years old. But there's all kinds of differences in horses. So horse racing does not work. But if all the cars are the same size and specifications, etc., what's the difference between the checkered flag and the last place?
This,
Come on, guys.
I believe.
It's the driver
Driver
and the pit crew.
and the pit crew.
One of the things I want you to think about is, I know Lori was going through the laundry list of all the things we do, but let me just ask you, this is us, we're being truthful. What do you do that's different? Nothing. She said we're on 100 websites. Well, I'm the next agent interviewing. I'm on 105. Matt comes in there, it's 113. You see, that's not the road to go down, no pun intended with NASCAR. Here's where I would go with that, Matt. Well, everyone's kind of on, I would use the NASCAR analogy, maybe. I would try it to see if it ever worked, but I think it's a good one. It's the driver and the pit crew. So here's what we do that's different. We have a philosophy in our office of speed to the lead. We have a team, and we're going to be doing this while I'm sitting here. I'm going to take 30 seconds and explain how quickly we got to the lead. I'm going to recall the fact when you called my office, Matt, what are the 3 things or 4 things you say have a reputation for real estate agents? I couldn't remember them.
Don't return phone calls. Voicemail is always full. Can't follow instructions. Always late.
There you go. When you called my office, by the way, was the phone answered? Yes. By the way, when they took the message, and was it professional? Yes. And how long did it take me to call you back? Just right away. That's the differential advantage. It's the driver and the pit crew. That's how you're going to separate yourself, you guys. Even if you're a solo agent, you're not going to be able to laundry list more things than someone else, and you're all going to sound the same. So I'm going to pause just for a second because I want to dig down here, Matt. Share some thoughts on that.
With all of the questions, guys, number one, I can't say that in almost 20 years of doing this that I've ever had somebody sit down and ask all of them. And frankly, most of them don't care. They're asking because it's the difference between what do you have any questions and what questions do you have? The reason you don't ask, do you have any questions, is because it subconsciously says to them, you should have some questions right now. When you ask, what questions do you have? You get the none, right? That's the contrast here. They don't know what to ask, so it's the spray and pray. They ask questions that they think would be applicable to prove to you that they think they know what they're talking about. When depending on what they ask, though, brevity. I always ask, even in my full listing appointment, you want the long version or the Cliff Notes? Said I can keep you here 3 hours if you'd like, or 3 minutes. Which would you prefer? So I hope that I answered what Denny was looking for there, but you don't have to give them a dissertation on all this.
Well, specifically, Matt, on number 6,
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents get balled up on this.
Yes. It's like the spray and pray. It's like, how will you market my home beyond putting it in the MLS? To Lori's point, and Lori, I love you. We start to talk fast. We start to verbally diarrhea. And we hope to God that 97 of the 163 things we mention, they find value in. So How will you market my home beyond putting it in the MLS? How far into the encyclopedia would you like me to go? And then they might actually shed clarity on that. Well, so and so said they would do this. Will you do that? Absolutely. And then some. But most importantly, we're going to do two things really well that others don't. Every single day, we're going to proactively prospect, which is the fourth P of real estate. And most realtors are so afraid of rejection, they'll never pick up the phone, even when you're calling. And then the second thing we're going to do, we're going to ensure that you're positioned appropriately and correctly amongst your competition. The rest of the marketing, 1,000 realtors could be lined up at your front door. They're all going to tell you they have the silver bullet. We all do about the same thing.
So now go ahead and put in the chat. Thank you, Matt. And then I'll let, unless you have a specific number request, I'll have, Don or Louise give you one question, and you're going to have 40 seconds, not 90 seconds for the one question. You can take it any way you want.
Right.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
I'll
And
give you 45, it's easier on the clock.
if I can add one more thing, guys, remember, like Denny and I really like parallels. So you can use an attorney or a doctor analogy in that situation with marketing. It's like, okay, well, if you were in a situation where you needed an attorney, how many different ways can an attorney represent you? There's case law, there's facts, there's evidence, but beyond that, is it an added bonus if they stand on their head and have a neon sign? Not really. So and when you go to a doctor and you need surgery, do you really care how many billboards they're on? No, you care if they can do the surgery 1,000 times in their sleep, hung over on a Sunday night. That's all you care about.
And one of the ways you're going to be able to document your customer service, provided they didn't call you last week and you're now just getting around to calling them, I'm assuming you adopt the concept of speed to the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I literally get a rash if somebody's not on the lead like right away.
Mm-hmm.
To make an initial, you might be on your way to your kid's school play. You can make a contact.
Yep.
So, all right. So Louise, let's get some participation going. They just get to pick one question. Let them pick it. And, or you be ready to give them one. And let's just hear brevity, please.
Okay, Debbie is with me. Debbie, which question would you like?
What is your marketing plan other than putting it in the MLS?
Okay, so Debbie, I'm curious, what is your marketing plan other than putting it on the MLS?
Okay, that's a great question, Louise. And I have to say that most agents do what we call the 3 Ps. They just put it in the MLS and basically they just pray that it sells quickly. But I try to do more than that. For one thing, I proactively prospect to every single agent in not only my brokerage, but I'm part of a group called the Rawls Group. We have in the Rawls Group 5 brokerages, and I proactively prospect to all 3,000 plus agents in that group. Also, I make sure that we do a coming soon campaign so that we have some pre-marketing going on.
Time. Your P's didn't line up. Better work on your P's.
All
right.
Okay.
Next.
Okay, next is Scott with Don.
Which one, Scott?
One.
So, Scott, what exactly will you do to market my home?
Well, Don, we're going to get your home in front of every qualified buyer who's active in the market.
How do you do that?
Well, several ways. First is we reverse prospect. So I'm going to go into the MLS and I'm going to find all the searches that have been placed by other agents looking for a home like yours.
Does that actually work?
Every time.
Okay. Sounds good. What else?
I don't believe him.
What else do you expect?
I
expect?
don't think it's believable, Scott. I'm
Really?
not impressed.
Not by that.
You
On
can't,
top of that,
you can't. I'm reminded of the movie. You can't handle the truth. You don't want the truth.
So I would work on making it a little stronger. Number next. Let's go.
Whitney and Louise. Whitney, which question? Number 1 through 8.
Yes.
It's probably 8 because I don't know how to answer the rest of them.
Okay. So Whitney, can you show me examples of your marketing?
I can. I feel like if you want to come in the office and take the time, I think it would be a waste of time to.
You're meeting with them. You're on a
Oh,
listing presentation.
um,
Yeah. Say,
yeah, I don't know
here,
how to answer that actually.
No, you got it. Yes.
I can. What would you like to see?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I can. What would you like to see? If I go over all of the different areas of marketing, it'll probably take hours and hours, and I think that's probably, uh, frankly, a waste of your
Put your
time.
hey, put your C away when you talk to me. Put your C away when you talk to me. Just hey, I can. What would you like to see?
Okay.
And then let them answer.
Okay. Next.
Okay, next. Mark, are you game? Mark or Daryl? First off mute. Mark, which
Sure, I'll
question?
go.
Then Daryl will be next with Don.
Throw me any of them.
So, Mark, how are you going to create demand before my home hits the market?
Okay, Don. Well, what have you seen other agents do?
Oh, it's all over the board. What do you do?
I think is he next to what do you call it? Carlos? Are you on the floor with Carlos right now?
Yeah, I'm stumped. I have nothing.
This man, this is I'm grinning from ear to ear. This
Me
is
too.
awesome, guys.
All right, who's next?
Susan with me, and then Daryl, if you're game, you'll be with Don.
Okay.
Which question, Susan?
Number 1,
Okay.
how will you market my home?
Yeah, how will you market my home, Susan?
That's a great question. Well, Louise, we went through the marketing strategy. What is it that you're hoping to hear from me? What would you like to see happen when your house is on the market?
I'd love for it to get multiple offers and be under contract within the first week.
Great. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. Any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. The question actually, what exactly will you do to market my home? And so she said, I'd like to have multiple offers and get it sold in the first week. I said, well, okay, then there's only one word we need to focus on:
Positioning.
positioning.
Mhm.
So can we go into that conversation? Marketing is a ramp. Positioning is a boom. I never said that. I don't even if it makes any sense.
Boom.
Yeah, and guys, it's okay to speak powerfully from a place of experience. You know, so when they say, well, what are you going to do to market my home? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being radically direct and transparent, what would you like? Which would you prefer? How would you like me to? What is the scale? Where would you like me to be on that? And they say 10. Out of the 1.3 million realtors that we have in the National Association of Realtors, probably 99.99% of them are going to do the exact same thing, plus or minus one or two things.
Mhm.
Where most of them fail is they don't ensure their clients are educated to properly position the property. They're going to tell you what you want to hear.
Mm.
So my marketing works 100% of the time. I've never had a client's home not sell when they do what the market tells them they need to do. You don't really have to go too far into the weeds unless there's something they really want to talk about. It's like, well, before I answer your question, what would your expectations be about marketing? I did this the other day. They failed to sell 2 times with another realtor. They said, well, she asked at the end. It was kind of impulsive. She's like, well, marketing, what are you going to do for marketing? I said, well, before I read off the entire dinner menu, what are you hungry for? I literally said that. And she goes, well, and I said, in other words, what would your expectations be of me? She goes, I don't know, because they all told us a bunch. I said, okay, so you got told a bunch of crap. And I asked the honesty or the transparency question. She said, just be a 10. I said, well, we're going to market it. Our marketing works 100% of the time. And we do just about the exact same thing as everybody else, minus plus or minus one or two things. Most importantly, we're going to ensure that you're positioned correctly if you let us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go back. I'm going to try to do it one more time, a little slower. Maybe you'll get it. I think as I think about this, there's 3 things we control. There's 2 things they can control. And if you ask me that question, it's going to be, I'll tell you what, there's 3 things your agent, not even me, your agent must be 100% spot on. And I call it, you just got to ace it. They have to ace it for you. What's that stand for? Accurate information. You see, there's a difference between a 3-bedroom, 4-bath and a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. If they're asking for what the maintenance fee is per quarter and they put it, that's per month, that can make a difference. So it's going to be 100% accurate. C, that's compelling description. My goal is, and this won't be launched until you actually approve everything. My goal is that when you read the description and see your photography, which we'll talk about next, a tear will form in the corner of your eye. Because if I can create that emotion in you of a home you're leaving, I can create it into a buyer that's coming in that direction. And C is engaging photography. There's 2 things you can control though. And they're more important than what I just said. One's positioning, the second is access. So I guarantee you, I will be 100% spot on, or you can fire me at any time. We'll just work on the other 2. Is that fair?
Okay.
Yep.
Daryl with Don, and then Robert with Louise.
Number.
Okay, pick a question.
Guys, come on.
How do you create demand before a home hits the market, Robert?
Daryl.
Daryl.
Like, wait, how to
Daryl and
create
Daryl.
demand is we use a number of marketing tools to start the demand via social media. We have a wide array of realtors in South Florida that we reach out to, let them know that the listing is coming soon. I need help.
Does Don want the Cliff Notes version or the detailed
The
version?
Cliff Note version. I'm all about Cliff Notes.
But what does Don want? How do you find out what Don wants?
Ask him.
So ask him.
What are you looking for?
Well, some questions you can't, I don't like that.
Well, I meant the Cliff Notes version or the long version.
Yeah, but if they ask you, what are you going to do to market my home before it hits MLS? Well, what would you like to see? Well, Super Bowl ad? I don't know. So, well, we have a whisper campaign. Say it low. We have a whisper.
Oh, so like, what's your wish list, or?
Do you
No,
I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
That's like a doctor. You don't ask the doctor. The doctor asks you, well, what would you like me to do to make you feel better?
I've got this big saw in the back room. I could take that leg off to cure that finger. I mean, it's like the major pain analogy. Oh man, your leg's hurt. Give me your finger. I'll take your mind off the leg.
So you tie it in. What you want to do is tell a story. So we have a whisper campaign. That's why the agent you choose needs to be strategic. Number one, for example, we have a big team. We sell 200 homes plus a year, which means we're interacting with people all the time. We have a database of 20,000 people. They're going to know about it. And the second thing is you got to make sure they're with an office. If you're with a big office, Keller Williams, they're biggest in the world. So we'll let our agents know. We'll trickle that out for MLS regulations. Let people know so we can create that spontaneous demand up front. That's how I would approach it. You can give it whatever name you want, but that's exactly what happens. But here's the point, gang. The probability you'll get some of these questions are low. The probability you're going to get some of them will be pretty high. If you practice your response and are prepared, everything you said already today will sound better if you had prepared for that. Right now you're fishing and you're going up and trying to read top Mavericks lines without seeing the script until today. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Time for one more game.
Robert, what are you going to do to market my home?
Louise, there's a plethora of ways I could answer that question. Everything from preparation and presentation to MLS online exposure. But to not be an Uber driver that you've given no address to, give me some direction. What exactly are you looking for? in marketing?
Well, everyone's going to do the same basic things. What does your team do that's above and beyond?
Well, I mean, the biggest things that we do above and beyond would be the fact that we actually go out and proactively market your home, meaning that we make phone calls every day to make sure that we're reaching out to our buyer pools and past sellers and things like that to expose your home. Those are the things that most agents aren't going to do. Is there anything else that would be important to you?
Yeah, let me ask you, we're getting top of the hour here. Do you guys don't say you and the three P's, just so I'm clear. So you guys are clear on this. We've talked about it, but three P's, put a sign in the yard, put it in MLS, pray someone else sells it. That's the three P's. Matt brought up fourth P, fifth P. Fourth P is that basically they proactively prospect for buyers on a daily basis. Fifth P is we proactively watch the market. Price watch is what we do. So if you do that, then you can say you do that. But if you don't do it, it'll bite you in the rear because now you're not coming from integrity. Matt, any closing remarks?
Yeah, be very careful what you say here, guys, because I mean, I've heard so many realtors make up so much crap over the years. And then if you run into that one client in a million that wants to see what you've done, and I had that before on Anna Maria Island. Fortunately, I could show her what I'd done. The problem was she was grossly overpriced, so it didn't matter what I did. It just stay in alignment with the integrity. What do you do? I can say, without equivocating, every single day I make somewhere between 200 to 400 phone calls looking for buyers for my sellers and sellers for my buyers. So I'm going to do the hard work of real estate that 90, and I can say this truthfully because I know of all the people I'm looking at on this call right now, 90% of you don't do what I do. You wouldn't be willing to do what I do. You couldn't endure the rejection that I'm willing to endure. But I realize that I have a fiduciary moral and ethical obligation to do it. So I do it, whether I feel like it or not. So I can be in alignment with my integrity 100% of the time. And then, to Denny's point, I'm also going to proactively, in real time, monitor our competition, knowing what it's doing, knowing what is on, under contract, and selling, so that I can advise you on the movement of the market in real time.
Yep. Well, thanks for being on. So any feedback, you can kill the recording. I just want feedback from you. I'm attempting different ways to get points across, and this is way too much information.